Hi, my name's Danny. The track I've chosen is Insomnia by Faithless. I used to be called Danny Eden. That was my DJ name. But anyway, that's by the by. The reason I've chosen this, to be honest, it chose itself, to be fair, because at that time in about 1997, I was a student in Bristol, and I just got into clubbing. And although I'd been into sort of DJing and I'd always been into sort of house music, etc. before, kind of coming to Bristol opened up, huge avenues in terms of going out and music and stuff like that. So yeah, that was the tune. And I think the first thing I thought of was Lakota. That was the main club. That was the place that we'd go every Friday night. I'd finish work. I was working doing a call centre job at BT, pretty boring, pretty mundane. We'd do the late shift. We were on the graveyard shift, which would finish at 11 o'clock at night. We'd always try to do a good job and get out at least 10 minutes before to get one pint in the pub downstairs. And then from there, we'd move on to somewhere else, and we'd always either end up at Lakota or Blue Mountain, possibly the Trinity Club, but that would usually be after, as an after thing. And, sometimes there was free parties, some under the suspension bridge, your typical one on Feeder Road, that sort of thing. The vibe, very much neon lights, sort of a bit crusty, a bit hippie, but also obviously the club people. And I guess really what I was looking for was, and I've realised this now, was that kind of spiritual experience. And I think this song really sums up that spiritual experience that we were all looking for, and particularly me. I mean, listening to it, it's that epic, it's almost like a biblical, spiritual, sort of uplifting, euphoric, and then they've got the breakdowns, and it's like, I always said as a DJ, although I wasn't a big DJ or anything like that, I always thought the best DJs took people on a bit of a journey. Okay, and I think just even this one tune takes you on a journey as it slowly builds up. And then it hits the break, and then you've got Sister Bliss, who's just the coolest bird on the face of the planet. When she stands and does that break and just goes do 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 do, it's fucking amazing. So that's kind of what it did for me. Yeah, what a wonderful change of notes, and also the lyrics. The kind of encapsulated the whole ethos of my clubbing days in the 90s. Oh, if I could only get some sleep. Creepy noises make my skin creep. The irony being, more than anything, I never wanted the night to end. So there's kind of like an irony around, I can't get no sleep, because that was part of it at some points during the night, but really you just wanted the night to go on and on and on and on and on. So yeah, thinking back to my pals, there was Mad Andy, who just he would get back from clubbing and we'd all done pills and a bit of speed and whatever. We'd go back to his flat in Clifton, and he had a top floor flat, and it was like a cubby hole. We'd sort of lock ourselves in there. Again, the neon lights, certain tunes would go on, the Faithless tune and whatever. We'd have a few spliffs and a chill out, and it was brilliant. There'd be Lewis, Nobby, Dan, Nick, and just saying those names, it just does take me back. And of course, randoms. There was always the random. And then obviously, the whole thing was it was a community, and you'd meet people and you'd hug them in the club and you'd fall in love about 4 or 5 times, particularly me. I'd fall in love every 5 seconds in there. So we'd invite randoms back to the flat, and Andy's flat. So there was one particular night I really, really remember, because it spanned me the fuck out. So we got back, and we were all bopping about doing our thing and playing tunes, etc., etc. We'd been back there probably 2 hours. Small little flat, no more than 8 foot by 10 foot, front room, little bedroom, kitchen, not much to it. And I was over at a certain point with some friends, just doing what we're doing, smoking a bit of weed, etc., etc. And there was a group of randoms that had come back. And at some point, I'd have a look over and I realised, hang on, they're not saying anything. None of them are saying anything. And it absolutely spun me out. Of course, it turns out they were all deaf. We'd met them in Lakota. They were all completely deaf, but they just enjoyed the music for the sound and the vibration that they got from it. But I had no idea that these people were deaf. All night, I remember seeing them in the club now, but the whole 2 hours they were sitting there, I was so oblivious to it. But that just kind of sums it up. That kind of sums up the nights for me, really. And yeah, Also, part of it was the ecstasy. We used to get these pills called Pink Californias. Wow. If I could get one of those today, I might even be tempted to go back there. They were fucking amazing. And, it was just, you took a little half and that was it. You were gone for the night. And it was just an experience. And I think particularly that tune in Bristol at that time was the epitome of, the music scene and Bristol, and, that tune for me sums it up completely.